I'm muted. I was muted that entire time. Wait, what was I saying? I said hello. Today we're going to be listening to Fuga Melodies of Steel 3. We've listened to the first two. Afterwards, I'm going to be filming some stuff. And then depending on what time it is, I plan to just play some casual games, nothing too serious or story based on this, very chill Wednesday. So hopefully everyone's doing really well. You're having a good day. And hello. And we're just going to dive right in. This is going to be pretty low key. Yeah, let's get started. So Fuga Melodies of Steel 3. Let's dive in. That's fine. It's low key today anyway. No worries. Very low key today. And thank you for your help yesterday, Wi-Fi. Appreciate that. I don't mind that per se. I think one of the things that I struggle with this sound is how MIDI it the MIDI VST sound of it is a little bit I don't know. I think my ear is also changing to how I used to attach. Like, I don't have a problem with MIDI per se because ultimately, like, what matters is the emotional integrity of the piece. But I have really changed my sort of tune when it comes to I much would rather hear that with live orchestra and live players. Now obviously Fuga Melodies of Steel is not exactly a major or massive selling game, so not everything can be this way, and that's fine. But just from a personal thing, it's interesting how the piece sounds. You still get the qualities of moroseness and the boop ba bing, bumpy bum, bumpy bum, 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 bum. You still get the arpeggiation there that still provides us with a sense of somberness throughout it. But it's interesting how sort of morose that is. Let's keep going, shall we? Okay, well, that piece is 30 seconds. 5 seconds. Ba, 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 ba. It's recap music like this is really, really lovely. I like the dance there with the flute and the clarinet, actually. Yeah, super elegant, simple piece about, well, a recap of the story. So this is an official OST, so the sound is actually a little bit a key, unfortunately. This will be a smaller stream, Mason, so that's probably why you're ranked 2. I do like, you know, the piano in game music in general is so nice here. Even here, you hear like the danger in it. It's a lot of arpeggiation. Hi, Victor. I like the sense of stillness in this. But there's momentum in it at the same time. I did, thank you, yeah. That looks so different. Yeah, I shaved my beard. I kind of wanted to have my face back, you know? Hey, Maxara, how are you? Yeah, we're low-key today, just listening to this Fuga Melodies of Steel 3. A very chill live stream. Tension in that sound with the arpeggiations of the... This is the tutorial. Again, I'm not necessarily crazy about the MIDI instrumentation, but I like how well thought out it is compositionally. And it, again, it's like, a lot of people don't know about this series. I think like Fuga Melodies of Steel 3 got like 500 copies sold, which in truth, even though that's really not a lot. Take care. It still has heart in it, and it's still, you know, well thought out and well composed. It's kind of a bummer actually that, well, I'm going to create a whole video about like games that just get like lost in the shuffle. And I do think that this is an example of that. It's just a game that sort of, I mean, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? But there are so many games that come out. It's just kind of a bummer. Like just how often like really well like made stuff or well composed stuff just kind of disappears because exactly, like the passion is still there for writing something, and like, you know, just because it's not like one of the top 10 video games or whatever doesn't mean that it doesn't have merit, and doesn't mean it's a good experience, which is why I like to listen to stuff like this, because it's like, well, we should still, like, you know, even if 500 people watch this video, which is, you know, more or less pretty small for me at this point. Like, it's still 500 people that maybe didn't know about the game, or maybe will be exposed to it and buy it and have a great experience. And that's ultimately the point, right? I mean, like, it's about having a good time. It's interesting that the track is called Desperation, but it actually feels very encouraged. The piano is actually really prominent in this. It's quite nice, isn't it? Fuga does not have anything to do with fugues, no. Speaking of fugues, though, this sounds much more like a waltz, though. March of the Wounded. Oh yeah, March, okay. It's interesting that it's a march, but it's actually more of a waltz, or it's definitely in a big 1 1 1 1 1 1. That brass down there is really exciting, I think, because it gives body and emphasis to the lightness of the flute on top. It gives a little bit of a flair of danger. That's cool. You can hear the clash of the shield. What's it? The clash in the shield and the spear. And you can the momentum in that is really interesting because it feels like they're running towards each other. But here it really feels like, do we have to? You know, there's a softness in that piano. That's fine. It's cool. I'm paying attention as well. No stress. It's a very low-key stream. It's just very relaxed. This is your first stream, Mason? Welcome in. Yeah, nice to have you on such a low-key stream. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think the piano does a bunch of heavy lifting in this, and I think like that's good because the piano is such an elegant and flexible sound. I think we really do get a lot of like tension, and there's a lot of malleability in terms of emotions that come out of the piano. I love a 5-second little creeping disappointment, trifling hope. Yeah, piano predominant of this OST so far. The lightness in harp too is a really interesting sound, isn't it? Because there's an innocence in the sound. Oh, that's okay, Moth. Thank you so much again for contributing to this. I don't know if you saw, but I appreciated your commentary as I listened. Hi, Kramen, thank you. See, like, even though it is MIDI or VST, I still think that it really does lean into and provide this real, like, I don't know, they're a very human sound, despite these being, anamorphic creatures, and there's a real, like, there's a reality to their sadness, and again, the piano, I think, really delivers on that in a big way. I think it's called a tragic loss, and I really like how the chorus is singing in unison, and while underneath we have this very simple arpeggiation, which gives, I think it gives way to grief and to sadness, and again the piano being in the middle upper register is so evocative because that's like a range of warmth, it's a range of brightness as high as you go. So to have the chorus in here as well gives this sense of real like coming together because they're singing in unison. So there's a coming together of loneliness and a bit of like almost it's called a tragic loss, and you hear the the way that the space exists and the arpeggiations provide that sense of sadness, you know? For a better tomorrow. I think that piece was actually kind of my favorite. It was so simple and so elegant. Alright, this is the enemy territory, of course. This is the big bad, the villain. Nothing too complex here. Oh, I like the use of the mallet instrument there, doubled with the piano. The theme of John Evil. Yeah, in a way. That's funny. Okay. Mysterious forces. I love the twinkling thing is such a classic, like, what's going on? I actually love those strings there. Da-dee. Da-dee. Dum ding dum dum ding dum ding ding. The gloating emperor, okay. Yeah, you hear that right away with the horns. It's funny, you know, just as a thought, like, I think it's kind of interesting how all music does this. Right on the nose, you know, sometimes things, especially in games tend to be like right on the nose. Like the gloating emperor, how do you make him sound gloating? This is how you make him sound gloating. And that's what you do. You know what I mean? I can't tell if that's always like a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it's good that it's obvious. Definitely evil empire, yeah. Evil emperor vibes, yes. 1000%. Hello. But actually, so in the beginning it sounded kind of like sort of silly, but as we've progressed, especially with the strings right there, because you have a little bit of harmony and they're moving at the same time, there's a slight bit of danger there. Hey, thanks, Mr. Lethal. Wow, 13 months? Oh my god. Why does time go so fast? That's crazy. I appreciate you resubbing there. Thank you. It helps keep the lights on. Do I have a music degree? I have like 4. Yes.
This is fire.
I do. I have 4. I have 4. I have 4 degrees. This is such a common trope. Really, it's like a church hymn. This is terrific, like simple stuff, you know. Just to get a chorus and male, like boys choir up in the upper register, and then just fill it out with horns and strings, kind of supporting them. It's a win-win every time. You thought I was trolling? No, I have 4 degrees: Bachelor's of Music, Master's of Music, Artist Diploma of Music, and a certificate of. Well, they're not all degrees, but they're I've gone to school and been given a piece of paper. I actually love that. The twinkling of the stars as we kind of ascend into, like, you know, our responsibility or our commitment to ourselves, so on and so forth. Nice. Maestro. Oops. That's what I'm here for your D&D sessions. Listen to the organ though here. This is nice. It's interesting. It's called Maestro, and we're including music, almost as if the maestro's orchestrating this whole thing, right? Oh my god, you beat Pantheon level 5? I can't even imagine. Yeah. That's amazing. interesting how this also has some space to it too, though. It's not just... It's not just devious. Because even there, that little ba-da-dum, bum, that's got a little bit of flair to it, a little bit of danger. But overall, yeah, it's interesting how this is a multifaceted character that's probably controlling everything, but then also devious, but then also appears, you know, maybe friendly or supportive and so on and so forth. It's really interesting. I don't love that sound. It ends up sounding so fake. Very quirky and silly. Bop bop. Huh. That's very quirky. Yeah, we're having a very chill live stream today. Just listening to Fuga Melodies of Steel 3, thanks to Moth Takes Flight. Just listening and chatting here and there, and actually, you know, I know that it's quirky because there's literally 5. I should do a video about the shortest video game songs ever. These little stingers. Sorry. I feel like these would apply. It's such a like interesting concept. These Opera Singer reacts to the shortest video game songs ever made. Because I mean, this has a whole like. I mean, it's a stinger, so it's not technically a song, but it also kind of is because it does require a little bit of stuff. Yeah, I am excited for. Yeah, I'm very excited for a Silk Song. Undertale does have a bunch, yeah. This feels like a temporary place of respite, but not really. Like there's still a lot of stress and anxiety attached to it. It does feel like it's a place of rest. Like, oh my god, thank god we found this place. There's a bit of urgency in the tempo and the lilt and all. Your chatting does not need to become thinky. You don't have to worry about that. Just go play Blooms. Don't worry about it. We're just vibing. We're just talking. You think I'm saying anything too profound? I don't think so. I'm just hanging out listening to a soundtrack. No stress. No stress. Quirky. I love that. Like bass clarinet, low clarinet sound. The woodwinds do such a great job of becoming kind of quirky and odd, you know? Thanks for subbing, my guy. Appreciate it. Had you never, have you seen any of my YouTube stuff? Oh wow, that's hilarious. Yeah, man. I'm actually a YouTuber predominantly, but I stream a lot. Yeah, Sky Beyond the Horizon. I talk about video game music on my YouTube channel, Marco Meatball. My streams like super vary in size, but oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's my main gig. I love streaming though. And I love listening to music and streaming and playing games. I just finished up a playthrough of Hollow Knight yesterday. Intermission. It's funny how this again you hear how like the waltz lilt. It's really cool. Bum. I think those are intended to be bassoons. Hey Golden, how are you? Yeah, they are. Meant to sound like bassoons, but it's funny because of the VST, they kind of sound like it kind of sounds like strings. And the reason why I bring it up is because like the choice of instrumentation is actually important. So I love the piano cascade there. Don't thank me, thank Moth. Moth paid good money for this. Hopefully they're happy and satisfied. But there's something really nice about the choice of instrumentation is really important. So if you have a bassoon versus strings, right, a basis, there's two very different sound qualities. If it's a predominant woodwind thing, when it bops like that has a natural, very, very silly, playful, these are like common tropes, right? When you have a bouncing woodwind section, there's almost always this sort of, there's like, I guess, what's the best way to describe this? My brain's not braining. I found out I have ADHD, and it explains so much. It's kind of annoying how much it explains, but sometimes it's really hard for me to find like specific words, and I feel like I rant and ramble and don't finish thoughts and pivot to a new thought, and it's been one of the corners of my life that has been the most challenging, I think, and I don't know that I'll get medicated necessarily, but I'm in the process of figuring out like what it all means for me as a 38-year-old almost with ADHD. Because I already have OCD, which I understand and can grasp, but now with ADHD, it's a totally different ball game, and just the way that, you know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just it's crazy. It's crazy how I feel like I've for the last 3 years, every time I sit down to film a video, sometimes my brain just doesn't brain, and I used to think it was because I ran out of ideas. I mean, certainly reacting to music is very easier because you just kind of like, oh, this thing came out, let me react to it, right? But like when I sit down, and even now during this video, I've been sort of percolating on video ideas that I think might be interesting videos for me to make, that I will enjoy making, and it's interesting how easily I can lose my train of thought. Or I mean, I think the best part about it is that because, and I think this is why I'm a variety content creator and why I've always just played every possible game known to man, because I can almost never sit still with one game. And I think that's actually a really interesting thing that I'm kind of discovering about myself, because I used to just be like, oh, I just really like exploring games. But the truth is that in general, I have a really hard time paying attention to a game for an extended period of time. And so ADHD, I think, explains a lot, because I jump from game to game. Like every day I'll sit down, I'm like, okay, what am I playing today? And I'll just like go down this list. Like I remember seeing like I forget, I think it was Moist Critical or some content creator, they showed up their Steam page and they had one game. And I was like, one game installed? The hell? You look at mine, I have like, even right now, I have at least 35 games, because I never know what mood I'm going to be in and what I want to play. And then I'll play one for like 5 minutes, and then I'll pivot to something else. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to play Guild Wars 2 for 10 minutes. It's a miracle that I have 200. And I think the reason why I like MMOs is because there's always something new to pivot to or do. It's another reason why I think that Rainbow Six Siege is one of my favorite games of all time, because like every even though the matches themselves are the same, there's always something to pivot. Like there's a new match every time. There's a new experience, new players. So even though this functionally is the same game. And I feel like that's why I really struggle. That's why I struggle with focusing in on stuff. Like or I noticed recently, speaking of the finals. So the finals, in order to have an account, you need to sign in and create a whole thing. The minute that there is like some sort of a barrier to entry is the minute that I kind of bow out. And so when I started content creation 3 years ago, one of the things that, and I do want to try the finals, by the way, because I like FPS. One of the things that, see, I just lost my train of thought. Isn't that funny? ADHD, man, it's crazy. Like and part of me is like, well, I wonder what it would be like to be able to siphon my focus, you know? And why am I so tired? You know, is it because of ADHD? Is it because my attention is like split like this? Because how the hell was I memorizing 3-hour operas? You know, like how was I able to memorize all that stuff? Or do I have onset ADHD as an adult that came on later on in my life? You know, so I find ADHD to be a really interesting thing as a person who loves games, because it does give me the flexibility of trying a million different things, but it's why I can never hyper focus on one thing. Almost never. And I almost always burn out of something. And I suppose that's a normal behavior. But like, yeah, I think that's why I really like MMOs. And I think that's also why I've enjoyed fighting games, although I have anger issues apparently. But like if a single player game is more than 30 hours, I cannot commit to it. Like the length of time required for the investment is way too high for me, and I become extremely non-committal. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe I'm just non-committal, which is not possible because I have like, you know, relationships and stuff. I have a relationship that's really healthy and we're getting married. So I mean, like, clearly that's fine, but I find it really, really interesting. And why was a 33-hour playthrough of Hollow Knight so easy for me? And why don't I want to go back and try some of the harder stuff? Well, probably because I'm also one of these types of people that once something is done for me, it's done. I rarely go back. Even The Witcher 3, which is like a game played 450 hours of, right, Gwent. I think the reason why I played so much of it is the variability, which I think keeps me interested and keeps me, you know, engaged. So it's really interesting being an adult gamer, content creator with ADHD, newly discovered ADHD, and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out, like, what are my likes? What are my dislikes? Why don't I like things? Why do I like things? Are any of these related to the fact that I have this thing that I'm still trying to come to terms with and figure out what it is? You know what I mean? Because like 91% and 32 hours of Hollow Knight was awesome. Like I was really, really happy with that. Like that was such a solid, and also like I would never go and do the harder stuff because I just don't have the attention span. Not because I'm disinterested, but because I just don't have the attention span. Same goes for like Final Fantasy 14, where it took me 4 years to catch up to current content. And I think it's because of how much text there is, you know? I think that was part of it too. Like for instance, there's some visual novel games. Like I play not all the time, but I play quite a bit of gacha games. And right now I'm in a no gacha game besides Destiny Rising, which I'm shockingly loving. But like PGR, Punishing Gray Raven, Arknights, terrific games without the gacha element, right? The visual novel stuff is interesting. The problem is I can't lock in. I just cannot lock in to the reading aspect. I'd rather just pick up a book and read a book, right? But even then, even books, like my interest just wanes, and it's a very interesting thing to live in, you know, the year of our Lord 2025 and try to find the balance between, well, is it just because we live in a shortened attention span world with shorts and TikToks and this and that, and, you know, these 60-second clips, and we're trying to, you know, grab the attention of everyone. There's always something going on. Or is it simply the fact that as of, you know, last week, I discovered that I have ADHD because I did a bunch of like, you know, self-assessments and testing, and I want to do more with my therapist. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, that's my thoughts on ADHD as a gamer at 38 years old. So yeah, I don't know. I felt like sharing that. Maybe I'll turn that into a video. 'Cause I feel like that's an interesting conversation. I actually love Destiny Rising, dude. When's No Drakai Live Symphony? Actually, later after this, I'm gonna record it and ship it and upload it as well today, probably. Thank you for asking. I'm amazed. Sometimes I forget that there are people in the Genshin Impact community that still enjoy my content on it. How is Destiny Rising? I've played Destiny for about 600 hours, and I don't play it anymore. And I have to tell you, Destiny Rising is a very fair gacha game and a very fair Destiny game. Now, graphically, not as good. There's some AI voices, which is extremely annoying. Not in the main cast, but there a lot of the like sub characters or NPCs are AI, extremely frustrating. But you can play it on their player, the Mumu player, which is NetEase's player, and it play emulator, and it plays perfectly fine. I've had zero problems with it. The sheer diversity of content in Destiny Rising, actually impressive. Like I'm on chapter 2, and every single time I pivot to a new chapter, there is some new form of content that really connects with me. So, what's the void reigns upon her heart? Is that a game? And most importantly for most I think lapsed Bungie fans is the question of gacha. And believe it or not, the gacha is extremely fair. For 60 pulls, characters can come to you, and they're guaranteed with no weapon banner. Now, if you want dupes, yes, of course you have to keep playing, keep putting money, and the dupes do make characters better. But if you just want a character, like I wanted Gwyn, the scythe wielding warlock, it was only it was only about $130. And I say that because I've spent more than that on basically every single gacha game for characters that I've pulled, number one. Number two, the fact that there's no 50-50 is pretty impressive and very player acceptable, I think. And I look at it this way. Destiny, you literally cannot access large chunks of Destiny's gameplay. Why? Because they sunset it. And what's worse is that it ain't coming back because they don't have it. You know? So where is it? They don't know. So in my mind, this is a personal preference. I have spent much more on Destiny 2 and Destiny. So while gacha is an evil, I think sunsetting content and then paying for it and not ever being able to do it again is as evil or more evil, in my opinion. Especially in a system like Destiny Rising's, where gacha, there is no 50-50. It's just about like, hey, you want this character? Well, you're going to have to drop X amount of dollars, right? So, I mean, if you think about it, if you... Now, granted, the rate of gacha in that will be faster because there's always updates. But personally, I actually really like it. So maybe I'll hop on and I can, the music's fine. I really like, I've seen a lot of Destiny players bitching about gacha over on the Destiny Rising subreddits. But like, I don't really think that they have a lot of ground to stand on, because while I do think that gacha's evil and I hate gacha and I hate 50-50, this game doesn't have that, and it has content in spades. There's like 3 different PvE modes that I just opened up yesterday. Now there is like stamina and gating and all that other stuff that also sucks about gacha games, and like the daily limits and all that other bullshit. Don't get me wrong. But as far as like the quality of the game, I personally feel like it has legs, and I actually think it could, at the very least, run parallel to Destiny. And if you're a lapsed player like me, it's kind of a no-brainer to at least try it out. But the people that are like, oh, it's just a shitty mobile game, I can't buy into that, because literally the game that you're comparing it to is a game that literally stole your money, removed content from the game, and isn't going to put it back anytime soon, if ever. And ever. It won't. I don't know, man. It's like, yeah. At least I know that, like, Gwyn, maybe she'll get, like, maybe there will be a better warlock in the future. But at the very least, I know that Gwyn will always be there because I paid money and she's there unless the game ends service. Okay. But that's a whole separate conversation about stop killing games and what that even means. So, and here's the thing. Exactly. So here's an example of a person who started Wuwa, Wuthering Waves, and lost 2 50-50s in a row with, wait, that's not possible because how did you lose 2 50-50s in a row? Because you're only supposed to lose one. How did you didn't get Augusta in the second? That's strange. You should have, you're only supposed to lose 1 50-50. I might be misunderstanding. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Destiny Rising. I genuinely, no, you should only lose 1 50-50. Destiny fans are also so desperate for any Destiny content, they'll gobble anything up too, is what I'm hearing about the game. But I think that demeans the game a little bit, because the game itself is fine. Yeah, you lost a 50-50 for Shorekeeper. Oh, and then you lost the other one for Augusta. Oh, that fucking sucks. Yeah. No. I'm not a fan of Augusta and Yuno, which is why I haven't played 2.6. I'm not really interested, to be honest. Anyway, ADHD. Let's keep going, because there's other stuff I want to do today, and I'm enjoying listening to this. All right, so that was intermission. Let's keep going. This is Bonds. There's no sexualization in Destiny Rising, for what it's worth. Yeah, I know. Like, sorry, just really quick. The main theme, I think I already did it. For what it's worth, though, she's pretty cool looking, actually. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like gacha, you don't like gacha. I wouldn't blame you for that. Don't worry about that. Sorry. My face is covering, I think she looks super cool. And her story was fun. That's fan art. I think she looks dope. But I totally get it. Anyway, let's keep going. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I understand why people don't like gacha games. So I totally get it, Aaron. You're well within your correct reasoning. All right, let's go back. They use AI voices for the NPCs. It's unfortunate. I'm hoping they'll fix that. They have to fix it. It's really dookie. Not good. I like how the track is called Bonds. In this waltz, you kind of feel the connection between the characters. I think the waltz is really interesting to lend itself to this idea of like we're all in this together, you know, like we can I don't know, the waltz is very playful and it's sort of lilt, and there's this connection that the characters have where I think it's like looking after each other. It's like tending to each other. You know, it's like I'll cook you a meal. Here, come sit by the fire. Like there's this doing action in the music, but also there's this like it's gentle and almost parental in the way that it sounds. If that makes sense. Bonds 2. See, like that's so elegant. That's very pretty. That's playful because of the horns. You hear how the brass makes it really silly. Someone's drunk, you know? I do love that little triangle in the back. Boom, bam. Again, playful, playful, playful. Could be character. It's cool because I think we're getting the real nice characterization here as well from the for the the characters. Each bring with them their own nature, although all of them are fun-loving and sweet because they're children. Oh, hey, Marlon. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. Hope we're doing well. Welcome to this very low-key, relaxed listening hangout. We're just listening to Fuga Melodies of Steel. I'm actually going to be doing my breakdown and analysis of No Kai's main theme live later today before I end the stream. So feel free to come back later. Feel free to hang out. It's up to you. Thanks for being here. Oh, see, this is nice because this is the first time we use guitar. And this feels much more like a dance. It's like back and forth, back and forth. I actually like this. The brass is really interesting there, actually. So the brass really represents that battle and the danger within the battle, but then the guitar and the light flute movement, the double there, the two flutes kind of moving together. That's like that's showcasing the push and pull. I think the flutes kind of represent the children. I think that the guitar itself represents the battle. It's a bit of a dance, and then the brass in the lower portion of the brass, the tubas and the trombones there, really do I think highlight and represent the danger and how high the stakes are. A really lovely little piece. This is the normal battle. This is much more stressful. What's up, Jay? How are you? I think Red Dead's a little bit tricky with Rockstar. But also it's my favorite game, so I'd like to. But this one's also like a dance, kind of, isn't it? Here we're good. We're just having a low-key chill. Just listening to some Fuga. Nothing major. Relaxed. Boom. There's that brass again, if you hear it. I've listened to some of it. I've listened to some of it. What's Fuga? Chat, what's Fuga? I've listened to. I have two. I've only listened to like 2 tracks from Frostpunk, and then a couple from Frostpunk 2. I think so too. So this is the most dangerous battle. I like that none of these sound overtly desperate. There's a real nice air about them. All right, so this is Arrival in the Burman Empire. So we get the sound of a place just like wall to wall with military might and what kind of live is this? How do you mean, Gun? We're listening to music, hanging out, chilling. Does it bother you that this is VST? That this isn't live instruments? As long as the emotions comes across, right? Even that you can hear too, the way that there's a counter harmony, a counter melody happening with the strings are in between all this noise, and the strings are creating this sound of rigor and structure. It's very militaristic, you know? Boom, boom. Yeah. Secret of Mana Gnome. I mean, the thing is, like, it's still pretty complex. Silk Song is $20, as Kramen said. I love that piano though. Boom, boom, bum, 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 bum. God, there's a lot of, actually, you know, there's a lot of woodwinds in this. It's actually quite nice. I like how Suspicious Masked Man have this, like, sort of debonair, or not debonair, like, sort of like, what do you want from me, child? Like, there's this energy in it of devious and mystery. You can hear the mystery within it, and I love that. There too. I love that piano. The piano really is doing a lot of work. That's amazing. It almost feels like going against ideals, or, you know, doing things one way, but then getting caught up in something in another way. The Untamed Night. Oh. had a thought there that was really interesting in that throughout that entire piece, like there's no, the electric guitar adds a lot of chaos. And the electric guitar also does something really interesting in that it forces the player to confront this almost omnipresent, dangerous being, right? So like the sound in that is one of it's a pursuit of like interacting with something quite deadly. With that electric guitar there being the predominant force. And then also there's this bit of like sort of snaking around musically that I think does a great job of feeling like that is actually the pinnacle of enemies that we have faced thus far, right? There's a sense of dread in that sound, which is really cool. This is the Crimson Knight's boss battle theme. And there it is again, but this time it's much more focused. Hey, thanks, Australian. Thank you. Again, I think like a doubling down there of intensity. But see, but then when the piano kicks in here, there's like this degree of hope in it. And then we're back to this bong, bong, bong. Ba-da-da.
For the past.
But again, there's a balance there between the electric guitar and the danger. So we're essentially passing the ball back and forth between the kids and the Crimson Knight. So you get the electric guitar, it's all pretty slow, and then you get it doubled. You get it doubled in the electric guitar with the sense of stress and with the sense of danger, and then the flutes and the woodwinds take over for the kids, and you have this dance between the two. And I find it interesting how there's, I would have expected it to be a little bit more energetic, but instead it ended up being kind of slow and ploddy, which is fine. But yeah. That's very peaceful. This is like looking back on something. Actually, this is probably my favorite of the. It's that boom bum 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 boom bum bum bum. Really elegant. It's like a place of refuge, but also like major nostalgia. And again, I mean, it's like, it's really hard to pin down why certain things are the way they are. And yet we can still derive a lot of emotional integrity out of a piece based on our like instincts towards it. And I feel like this is an important part of the discussion that sometimes gets lost, and that like theory is great. Like how something is made is great. How something is written is also great, but there isn't really a lot of space given to how we interpret things. And I would like to encourage you to consider that it doesn't really matter what is right, what is wrong, how it's composed, the notes on the page, all this other stuff, which, yes, context is important, of course. But what matters is that you have an emotional connection to a piece. Like that is the fundamental part of music that I think sometimes gets missed on. And from a personal perspective, like oftentimes people that are choosing to be rude or disrespectful will come to my channel and basically suggest that this channel has less meaning or depth than a channel that will analyze chord structure and analyze key signatures and the movements of the notes, whether they're downwards or upwards or what have you. And I do think that those people are incorrect for two reasons. One, the emotional value of music, in my mind, is much more important than the theoretical value of music, number one. Number two, theory is great, but at the end of the day, theory and music writing, all of these things are tools for the purpose of connecting, to tie it back to number one, the emotional integrity of a piece of music to the listener. The goal of any good composer is to write from a place, unless we're talking about absolute music, which is different than other pieces of music. Absolute music is written for its own sake. It's just there. It's not there to be programmatic. It's not there to tell a story. It's not there to XYZ. It was written for a commission basis, and it exists in the ether. And it still may derive emotions out of you. Of course, that's music's ultimate job, but it is just written for a symphonic, audience, symphonic orchestra. Whereas with this stuff, this is all trying to tell us a story and connect us to the context. Context is really important because context allows us to feel things doubly more impactfully. So not knowing the context of a random piece like this, Phantom Village from Fuga, Melodies of Steel 3, I can still derive a lot of emotion out of it. However, with context, I'll feel a deeper sense of whatever that emotion is trying to tell me, much like learning the lore of something like Hollow Knight and going step by step and understanding the overarching concepts makes Hollow Knight much more impactful due to that experience. Now, is my initial experience with the game then null, invalid, and meaningless? No. The point is that when we're listening to pieces of music, before context, during context, or after context, the point is that all of those emotions are real. Now, they may be deeper upon further inspection and deeper understanding, but just because I don't know the context of Phantom Village from Fuga Melodies of Steel 3, which is what I'm listening to right now, doesn't mean that the emotions I felt while listening to it are wrong. And I might do the total opposite of what's actually happening in the game. And I may feel that that's actually a song about nostalgia versus a song about sadness, right? Nostalgia has an air of sadness to it, but that's besides the point, right? The goal that we should have when listening to music is to connect to it emotionally. That is its purpose. That is its goal. Technique is important, context is important, but it doesn't take away that we also have a responsibility to feel what we listen to. And I find that to be a very interesting discussion. I find that to be a really interesting topic because music is special for that very reason. I sometimes get frustrated because I do think the context is king, but I also don't want people to be so reliant on visuals and so reliant on storytelling that they deny themselves the opportunity to contemplate how a piece of music makes them feel in relation to their lives and to their instinctual, emotional integrity, the thing that comes up right away, you know? So while I think it's good that we're able to sit down and be like, oh, well, this is the theme of this, it represents this is what it means, this is why I cry when I listen to it, I think that's fine. But can you go further? And that's something I would encourage anybody to do that's listening or watching is how do I connect to pieces outside of their given context when I'm not given a visual? Can I, even if, let's say I've already experienced the context and I've already played XYZ game, can I then take that music and connect it to my own life? Let's take an example, Clair Obscur. Can I listen to Lumiere or whatever and from Clair Obscur, and can I connect it to the joy of going on a date? Or, can I connect Aline to, or something else, I don't know, Near, Voice of No Return? Can I connect that sadness to losing somebody or loving somebody? And I think both things should be able to live simultaneously. Both the contextual, emotional experience and in our own lived experiences. I definitely think that some songs do need context to make them more impactful, such as the case in this particular instance of what I was listening to just now, Phantom Village from Fuga Melodies of Steel 3, right? Like this with context would probably have hit harder. Did I still feel emotionally connected to it? Did I still feel like the piece was thoughtful and beautiful and it made me reflect on, I don't know, love or, past dreams that didn't come to fruition or things that I wish had gone differently? 1,000,000%. And I think that's kind of the magic of video games. And I think that's the magic of video game music. And I think that's the strongest defense for it as well, is that like it can take on many, many different shapes. And I think that's awesome. So that's just some thoughts on that, I don't know. Yeah. Guys, I'm going to turn that into a video. Sorry. Enjoy taking care of your grandma. See you. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, everything you're saying, Jay, is correct. There's no wrong. And I think sometimes denizens of the internet, we sometimes get stuck in the idea that there is this like black and white, right or wrong situation. I also think it's cool when you take a song and put it somewhere else and how the context changes because it's in a different location. I think that's super fun. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. I mean, you don't have to. Just see how it feels. Sometimes it's a fun little experiment. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. Totally. Totally. I like that we're leaning into a guitar sound now. It's really nice. Beginning of chapter 3. The trio's emotions. It's very dreamy. I love the light flute over top. Where am I from? The United States of America. And Italy, but mostly the United States. Omega Tyrannus. I like how it starts kind of chill and then it builds up and builds up and builds up. I'm an Italian born in the United States. This is nice. This is quite expansive. A bit of Anchorhead's Raid. It does have some Kobayashi in it, doesn't it? Maritime, exactly. I like that hit. It does feel like flying or gliding. I would have liked more there, to be honest. More longer time. Psyche boss battle? Okay. Yeah, I don't do like non-stop sad games. Lots of brass there symbolizes size. I'm assuming some sort of tank. I really like these chapter openings, by the way. There's a lot of dance movement in this, actually. Do you notice that? There's a lot of dance movements in these pieces. But again, there's a bit of playful quirkiness in that. Oh, chapter 5 is totally different. This one's really the sound there with the strings is all about coming together, and there's a unified sense of almost adversity or strength, you know? Hi, Pravin, how are you? I'm well, thank you. How are you? Thank you for asking. See, I really like the momentum of the rhythm, coupled with the strings that are really long and expressive, and it kind of gives way to this real emotional oomph to it, you know? I like that piece a lot. swirling there. It's like fire and danger. You know what's funny is that this is you apologize for the lack of context for the chapter tracks. I originally had them set up as slideshows, so dude, don't worry about it, Moth. It's no problem at all. It's you know, it's fine. I use dude as a term of endearment, by the way. It's fine. I don't care. I'm having a good time just listening to it. Hopefully you're enjoying it too. I'm having a good time. I like how this one says Burman Imperial March, but it's actually not really a march. It's more of like a declaration of like intent. There's this super nefarious sound in it of like, well, we're going to kill those children. You know what I mean? Oh, is that what was happening in the game? I told you, it's right on the nose. I don't think that's a negative, but it's like super on the nose. Oops, sorry. This is this feels to me like it's a embracing of a power. It says uncontrollable power, but to me it feels like whoever they're fighting or is getting ready to fight is being twisted and contorted and manipulated by a force and by a power, and it's almost like it's running through their veins and they're kind of getting stuck, and whatever they thought would be a good thing ends up being this really bad thing, which I find really interesting. Oh, ironically, the next track is called Barking Mad Emperor. Also love the little gesture of ba-ba-ba-dee-da, ba-ba-ba-dee-da. A gorgeous choir there. I think I like Fuga 3. I think Fuga 2 was really good OST wise. I think Fuga 3 is a little bit more expansive. I still don't love the sound font of it. I think that's been like the most detrimental factor of listening to these three. But if you think about it, if we let's disregard that, right? I think on the whole, what I find really, really amazing about this soundtrack is how much heart is in it and how much of a desire to create something really memorable is in it. So in that case, I find all three of them really interesting because they're not shallow, even though instrumentally and musically, one could perceive them as being shallow. I think for how much the game has sold, and I think for what the game is, I think that they have delivered on something that's really high quality. I find that the VST sound after a while gets like the tiniest bit grating, just because I would love to hear it with orchestra, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's really well done. I think the actual compositions are nice and pretty layered and complex. The End of Tyranny. Oh. Oh, that's nice. That's like the end of a struggle. Wow. I love how light and bright that is. It's very peaceful. Chapter 7. Oh, that's surprisingly serious. It seems to me like that happy ending was not so happy, which is interesting. It's almost like as if something actually comes in and replaces that happy ending with something dangerous. Ah, this is the back half. Okay, interesting. There's a slight dissonance there. Right there. It's interesting how the sort of chimey quality can be not necessarily negative, but that particular sound sort of takes on an ominous twist with the slight dissonance. The sustained organ here is exceptional. I really like how it is non-stop sustained, as if to like highlight the actual threat. And then obviously you get like sort of the twinkling and the strings over top, like sort of dancing slightly. Like that's all, warm and has danger to it. But it's this organ that really sets us up for a bit of dread and almost, the tension. And that's a loop. Here too, it's like a multi-dimensional sort of situation where all of a sudden it's not just like the kids; it's like cosmic. You hear that with the twinkling in the background, but it's like seeing the planets or something up close, and nothing is as good as you hoped it would be, you know. Yeah, this gave me cosmic horror. I don't know why. Oh, to the moon. Okay, we actually are going. Oh wow, we really do go. The edge of Earth's gravitational field. It's almost like we're like fiddling at the control center and putting together everything. It's like, okay, thrusters on. Okay, finally we've arrived at the space station. Are we really ready to do this? You know, there's a sort of the natural movement of the piece, tempo-wise, gives way to this feeling of like accomplishing something. You know? Outer space. Oops, sorry. I really like the twinkling of this. It's giving me some like pseudo Gurren Lagann style. Let's do outer bass or the outer lunar bass. Hello, thank you. This was all like very calculative, you know. Infinitely cool. This is so simple. I love that. So we actually grow. So first of all, I love that we're using real voices. You can hear, I think even the piano's real. There's a quality in that automatically makes it feel more alive than a lot of the rest of the soundtrack. Again, not a negative towards the soundtrack, because I think the soundtrack is well thought out and well composed. Again, limitations, money, all that other stuff. But the amazing thing about this little corner is how gentle that singing is. And to me, it really feels like, you know, sort of a modus operandi. Like, why do we exist in the world? What is our purpose? What is life all about? And I think the reason why I come up with that sentiment is because of the way that the vocals that really just guide us. They just guide us down. They cascade down a lot of and that sort of lightness and that flexibility emotively is just so beautiful and very because of where it is in the register too. It has a lot of innocence within the sound. It's really nice. Listen to that harmony. And there's doubling in the violin, so the violin is playing the same melody as the upper voice. Now it's doing its own thing. It's supporting those voices. That's playful. Wow. so singable, so lovely. See you later. Listen to that, the callback there. It returns with the drums showcasing commitment and showcasing forthrightness and like a willingness to fight and a willingness to pursue something. You know, it's very, very honest. And there's all this referencing and calling back to. It's very lovely. I mean, again, these pieces are just good. Yeah, that's probably the highlight of the whole freaking thing, to be honest. I mean, the other tracks are nice, but that one has so much heart, soul. It feels really, really, really connected and thought out and warm and peaceful. And I love it. Gives me Art to Knuckle vibes. It's such a gentle piece, isn't it? And it's really like, yeah, I don't want to be stopped. I just want to live my life. And I like that. I like that piece a lot. I do love the upper piano. That's very gentle too. Well, it's all about love and, you know, possibility. This says Dancing Fool, but I don't really feel like it is adequate. This feels much more of actually a very smart character. So maybe the foolishness is actually a ruse or a trick, you know? Actually feels quite cunning here. The pride of the oldest. Hey, Damien, what's up? Thank you. Oh, cool. Okay. Cool. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Word. Thank you. Appreciate it. The future we chose. Okay. The dissonance in the pianos. It's such a typical backs against the wall sound, you know? Wow, listen to the way that we're stepping into this idea of all or nothing here. And I think part of that is that build up there is really like, okay, this is it. This is all we can do. I have to keep fighting. I have to dig deep, and that the musical impetus there is just to move forward and move forward and move forward and move forward. It's really interesting. Yeah, Damien, I have it loaded up here, so I will try to watch it tomorrow. That'll be very exciting. That's a streamer event? Well, merci. And then the re-loop, as if to say, you know, we have to double down. We have to power through. We have to, you know, believe in ourselves. And then here there's real heft in that sound. Pretty intense. Yeah, I really do feel like the piano tracks are the ones that stand out the most. Oh, the vocal tracks too. The vocal tracks are really, really good. So simple. Very super somber and I really like that song. I think it's so incredibly elegant. It's also extremely gentle. And to me, that song is very, 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 very personal, and it's all about like what it means to like live life and journey and navigate through adversity and the feelings of being alone, and how do you how do you move from point A to point B and, connect with yourself and find like hope for the future and, navigate the complexities of life. And there's a real innocence in that sound that I think is just so lovely and really, really, really beautiful. I really enjoyed that piece. Mm.
中に優しい声覚えてる笑顔とともに離れて思う君がくれたこの世界輝いている悔しくて寂しくて見上げた空に君を思う
I feel like the music budget goes to these terrific pieces. It's so fleshed out.
風が髪を撫でてゆくそばにいる君を感じる色とりどりの星たちがまた咲いてきらめいて朝が来ないと思う時も夜明けはきっと
This is all about like accepting the future and just going for it,
悲しくて一人になると君を思ういつまでもこれからもこの世界を歩いてゆく 夜空をかける流れ星一筋の希望を乗せて一緒に見てた同じ夢未来までつないでゆくよ切なくて温かい心にずっといてくれる会いたくて会いたくて見上げた空に君を思う
it's kind of it's so gentle, and I think really that's a piece really about like life itself and navigating through hardship and making decisions to commit to yourself and to believe in what you have to offer and well, there are many different angles one can go on. I mean, the way that she sang that entire piece, you could also go down there and think like, oh well, like navigating life and realizing that like there's only so much time left and thinking about how grateful you are to be around people if you're around people, and there's this real feeling in that of there's a lot of descending motion and movement that I think gives way to a lot of feelings of like loss, but also not just sadness, but also like gratefulness for what's come and yeah, it was super beautiful. I really liked those last three. Oh, and that's how the game over sounds. Well, Moth, that was 70 tracks. Holy crap. 2 hours and 48 minutes. Thank you so much for requesting this. It was fun to listen to all three Fuga games. There's a lot here, I think, that really, I think, provides a lot of depth. And again, it's a shame that I feel like this game is just not especially popular. So I feel like it's a bummer that like more people aren't aware of some of the really lovely tracks in here. But I found that to be very enjoyable to listen to. I think Fuga 3 is probably the best one, if I'm honest. But all the vocal tracks are really good. So that was definitely my overwhelming feeling about that, is that the vocal tracks really are what stand out the most, I would say. The rest of it's just sort of like, you know, standard protocol. Like, it's easy to like pick up on the subtle themes and things, but the vocal themes are the ones that I think have a lot of depth and a lot of like heart and emotion. So yeah, thank you so much for this. What am I doing now? So now it's 1 o'clock. I have a few things I need to film. I think I like the idea. So Maximilian Dude posts,
So you see,
like does live streams where he just does like a big like 6-hour live stream. I don't know how I feel about that, because just from his Twitch, and then he's also streaming on YouTube, and then what they do is he does it like this. So he just like resets. So he'll do like Hollow Knight lore review, Lost Soul Aside, Crossworlds demo, Hollow Knight, or no, Capcom news and Hollow Knight Day 3, playing Hollow Knight. I guess it's not that different. Interesting. But I was noticing that he does like a bunch of stuff in one go. Capcom MVC update and Bonanza. You know, like he does this like smattering of things. So I'll probably stop the stream here and then just start a new one. I love Max Dude. I'm trying to get him on the channel, but I'm going to let him. He's very busy, so I'm not going to push it. But I have a couple videos I want to film. And yeah. Oh, I had a guest come on and listen to some saxophone, and there's one song I think you need to show them. Up through shadows of you. Snakeskin boots. Word. All right, I'm gonna stop the stream there. Take a little break. Yeah, my pleasure. And then I'll be back in about an hour, I'd say. I have some things I want to do, and then I'll be back, and I will start a separate stream.
one of you guys said something to
I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.